Hello everyone. So today we are here to discuss the concept of error detecting and correcting codes. Okay. So what is in the error detecting and correcting codes? The codes which are useful for us in order to detect as well as correct the errors are called as error detecting and correcting codes. Okay. So we have seen all this previously. So if you see here, so when we are having a digital information which is to be transferred from a transmitter to receiver, or else you can say it as from one circuit to another. So in that scenario, generally we may come across the concept of error. So how error can be occur? Either the error can be occurred in the form of data loss, or the error can be occurred maybe in the form of mismatching of bits. So mismatching of bits means the zero may be replaced to one, as well as one may be replaced to zero due to the presence of noise. Okay, due to the presence of noise, we may come across the this what we can say errors, right? So in order to maintain the data integrity between the transmitter and receiver, we will add some extra bits, okay, to the original data, and these extra bits will allow both detection as well as correction of the errors present in the transmission. Okay, next. So the original data what we are having is me mixed with the extra bits. Okay, is in combined with extra bits, which will form a code. Okay, what is a code? It is nothing but the combination of data bits plus the extra bits is called as your code. That may be you can call as encoding when it is in the form of transmitter. You can call it as decode when you save it as a receiver. Okay, so the codes which allow only error detection are called error detection codes, and the codes which allow both error detection as well as error correction is called as error detecting and correcting codes. Okay, if the codes are only used for detection of error, it is error detection codes only. If it is helpful for both detection as well as correction of error, then it is called as error detecting and correcting codes. Okay, so in the concept what I have said here, the original data is being mixed with the extra bits. So what you call it extra bit, that extra bit you call it as a parity bit. Okay, the very important definition. The parity bit is used for, or it is used for purpose of detection of error during transmission of data. Okay, so the parity bits is used for detection of errors during the transmission of binary information. Then this point is the answer for what is the purpose of parity bit and what is the definition of parity bit is the second point. The parity bit is an extra bit included with the binary message to make the number of ones either odd or even. Okay, so when you make a conclusion over this, how can you say that the parity bit is an extra bit which is used to detect the errors during the transmission, which makes you to provide either ones in odd or even condition. Okay, like that you can conclude about the parity bit. Okay, remember that the parity bit is an extra bit which is used for the detection of errors during transmission. Okay, and which makes the number of ones either even or odd. Okay, now here also we will have the condition like so what is an even parity? What is even parity? Suppose if we have a sequence like 0 1 0 1. So first you count number of ones in the information. I am having two ones in my information. So two ones are there means where two is an even number. Therefore, this will be comes under the concept of even parity. Okay. So how to find out even and odd parity means depending on number of ones present in the information, you can decide whether it is even parity or odd parity. If your count of ones leads to an odd number, it is odd parity. When the count of ones leads to an even number, it is even parity. In this information, we are having two number of ones. Two is an even number, so it is even parity. Suppose if you take a 1110 as an information, count how many number of ones are there. Here we are having three number of ones, where three is an odd number. Therefore, this information is regarding your odd parity. Okay, parity we are having in two ways. One is even parity and non-parity. If the number of ones present in the information is an even amount, it is called as even parity. Okay, see the condition here. Okay, in even parity, the ones should be in an even number or even amount, whereas in odd parity, the ones should be in an odd amount. Okay, so in order to generate the parity, okay, there is circuit. Okay, see, the circuit that generates the parity is called as a parity generator, and the circuit that checks the parity in receiver is called parity checker. Okay, always the parity generator circuit will be connected in the transmitter side. Always the parity checker circuit will be connected to your receiver side. Okay, please note down these important points and keep in your mind. Okay, next. Okay, so as per the rule, there may be an probability of occurring 2-bit errors, 3-bit errors, 4-bit errors. So we cannot say error can be occurred only in 1 bit. Okay, error might be occurred in 2 bits, 3 bits, 4 bits, like that. Okay, clear. So this parity error detection system, it describes any odd number of errors. However, it cannot detect an even number of errors because such errors will not destroy the parity of the transmitted group bits. Okay, next. So now we are dealing with an important one is Hamming code. This is the best code, which is example for EDC code. EDC code means error detecting and correcting codes. Okay, this Hamming code not only provides you the detection of bit error, but also identifies which bit error so that it can be corrected. Okay, it is detection as well as correction. Therefore, it is called as error detection correction code. The best example, Hamming code. And the main principle of this Hamming code is parity bits. Okay, this code uses the number of parity bits located at the certain position. Okay, so in order to find the number of parity bits required for a problem, so is given by the expression 2 power p greater than x plus p plus 1. So what is 2 power p? Here p is nothing but the number of parity bits required. So you should find out the value of p. Next, what is this x value? The number of data bits present in the information. Okay, the number of bits present in the binary message, that is equal to x. So by using trial and error method, you can substitute the value of p is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on until this condition satisfies, until this expression will be satisfied. Okay, like that you can find out the position of, sorry, you can find out the number of parity bits, capital P. Okay, now how the position of parity bits will be there? Always the position of parity bits will be like P naught, P1, next P4, next P8. So how I am writing is just the powers of 2. Always it will be in powers of 2. 2 power 0 means 0. So P naught. 2 power 1 means 2. 2 power 0 means 1. 2 power 1 means 2. 2 power 3, 2 is 4, 3 is 8, like that. It will start from right side to left side. Always your sequence should start from right side to left side. Remember the sequence P1, P2, P4, P8, like that it will be. Suppose if your value of P is equal to 3 in the previous step, you should take these 3 into consideration. If it is 4, take these 4 into consideration. Always the position should be written from right side to left side. Okay, so like that you can find the location of parity bits. Location of parity bits will be always in the power of 2 power n. Okay, power of 2 power n. So after finding this position of parity bits, then we need to frame the bit location table. Okay, okay, you need to find the bit location table. And this table will consist of a bit designation, bit location, binary location number, information bits, parity bits. Okay, these five names will be same. These labels will be same for any problem. Okay, and this designation will be changed according to the given question. Okay, suppose if the question is given with the four information bits, then this is the sequence. Okay, so how to write here? Four information bits in the sense the value of x is equal to 4, and you substitute the value of x equal to 4 in the expression 2 power p. Okay, in the expression 2 power p greater than or equal to x plus p plus 1. So what is x? 4. 4 plus p plus 1 means you will get p as it is, and 4 plus 1 is 5. So by using what method we will follow? Trial and error method. So substitute p is equal to 0 first. 2 power 0 is 1. 1 greater than or equal to 6. Whether it is true? No, false. Next, p is equal to 2. P is equal to 2 in the sense 2 square 4. 4 greater than or equal to 7. No. P equal to 3. You take p equal to 3. You will get 2 power 3 8 greater than or equal to 5 plus 3 also 8. So see here 8 equal to 8. 8 equal to 8. Yeah, it is following. Okay, so under the value of p equal to 3, your condition is satisfying. So the value of p is equal to 3. That means the number of parity bits equal to 3. Originally the data bits are 4. So when you combine the value of x and when you combine the value of p, that means x plus p always gives you the length of Hamming code. Very, very important. That means how many bits should be present in the Hamming code, that is decided by this formula. Okay, already by the question you can find out value of x, and by the formula 2 power p greater than or equal to x plus p, x plus 1, you will find this one, and when you add these two, you will get the length of Hamming code. Now what is length of Hamming code? 4 plus 3, 7 bits. Okay, you should have 7 bits. Among the 7 bits, see, take 7 positions: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Write down numbers here. 1, you should write from right to left. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, as I said that the value of p is equal to 3, always the positions will be in powers of 2. So 2 power 0, first parity bit, 2 power 1, second parity bit, 2 square, third parity bit, over 3 parity bits over. So what is the value of 2 power 0? 1. What is value of 2 power 1? 2. What is value of 2 power 2? 4. So in the first position, second position, and fourth position, you will have parity bits. So first position, fixed parity bit here. Fourth, second position, fixed parity bit here, and fourth position, fixed parity bit here. So among 7, 3 are filled with parity bits. And what are the remaining? Obviously, they will be data bits. This is your data bit. This is your data bit. This is your data bit. And this is data bit. Okay. So that is the sequence I mentioned here. And write down the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And convert this decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into binary formats. And fill the value given in the question in this row. And your task is to find out this one. You need to find out the parity bits column. Okay, so when we deal with an example, then it is very easy for understanding. Okay, so see the question clearly. Now we will come to an exam. Come to a conclusion how to find it. So first to see, encode the binary word 1011 into 7-bit even parity Hamming code. Okay, what are the important points with tonight? First of all, you should know the information. You should know which parity is asked. Enough. You should, what are the basic information needed is what is the given information and what is the parity asked. the given information x equal to 1011. So how many bits are there here? 4 bits. You are having 4 bits. So the value of x equal to 4. So by using this formula, what is the formula? 2 power p greater than or equal to x plus p plus 1. So by using this formula, okay, substitute the value of x equal to 4, you will get 2 power p greater than or equal to 5 plus p. Just now we have seen previously 5 plus p. So for this category, this equation will be true only for the value of p is equal to 3. Only for the value of 3, this expression will be satisfied. That's why the parity value is fixed for 3. Okay. Now we have a value of p equal to 3, and from the question we have x equal to 4. What I have said, when you add x plus p, then you will get the length of the Hamming code. So what is the length of Hamming code you are getting here? 7 bits. You should get 7 bits as your answer. But they have indirectly given here 7-bit Hamming code in the question itself. But in some questions you won't get this point. But you remember, always your p plus x will be given you the length of Hamming code. This is the thing. Total bits you should have finally are 7 bits. Now bit location table. So bit location table means you should frame the bit designation. Framing of this designation is very, very important. Okay. As we are having p value equal to 3, 2 power 0 is the first position of parity, 2 power 1 is the second position of parity, and 2 square is the third position of parity. So this is nothing but 1, this is nothing but 2, this is nothing but 4. So 4 comma 2 comma 1. So see here, 4, 2, 1. We kept parity and rest of all bits are data bits. Okay. Next, write the numbers and convert them into binary form. Now you should find parity bits. Okay. Just for the time being, you erase these values. Okay. Erase these values. Why? Because we don't know the parity values. Only we know the information only. So write down the information given in the columns of D. Why? Because the given information is a data bits. That's why write down the information only in the data bits, D value. So 1, 0, 1, 1. And your task is to find these 3 values. Okay. So how will you find here? First of all, if you are finding the value of P1, so observe the binary format of P1, where the 1 is presenting, the last bit 1 is presenting. Like that, wherever 1 is existing at the last bit, write those location numbers. So first bit we are having, next third bit we are having, see here, we are having 1 at the same location. Next 5 also we are having same location, and 7 also we are having same location. So 1, 3, 5, 7. We are having the same value. Now write down the respective numbers. We don't know the value of 1, so keep as empty. Why? Because in the position number 1, nothing is there, no value is there, so keep empty. Next, under the column of 3 you are having 1, under the column of 5 you are having 1, under the column of 7 you are having 1. So this is the binary information you got. Okay, what is the information? Dash triple one. You got dash triple one as your sequence. And what is the given question? Even parity. What is the condition of even parity? When you count the number of ones, you should have an even number. So when you count here 1, 2, and 3, only 3 ones are there. So what is the value to be replaced here? If I place 1 here, then if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 ones will be there, so that even parity is executed. Yes. So the value of P1 should be always 1. Okay. The value of P1 will be always 1. Why? Because suppose if I replace 0 here, suppose if I replace 0 here, again I will get only 3 ones where it is an odd parity. But in order to make it as even parity, I should make this as 1 so that my value of P1 is 1. Okay. Next. Next I will write for P. So what is for P2? Same. P2 in the sense here the 1 is existing. Okay. Where 1 is existing, let me erase this. See. So where 1 is existing here in the middle term. In P2 we are having middle term 1. So 2 is having middle term. Next 3 is also having middle term 1. Observe carefully. Next 6 is also having middle term 1. 7 is also having middle term 1. And write down respective values. Second bit is empty, so keep dash. Third bit value is 1. Sixth bit value is 0. And seventh bit value is 1. So what is the value to be replaced here? When you count ones, we have 2 ones here. So 2 is an even number. So the given question is also even parity. So you no need to substitute 1 here. Suppose if you keep 1 here, it will become odd parity. But the question is even parity. So it is better to replace 0 so that the given question, the obtained sequence will be even parity. So the value of P2 will be 0. The value of P2 will be 0. Okay. Next. So what about last one? P4. Same process. Find out the position of 1 in P4. The leftmost bit. Leftmost bit. 4 is there. 5 is there. 6 is there. 7 is there. So 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. So what are respective values? 4 is empty. 1, 0, 1 you will get here. So the same condition. If you replace 0 only, then it will satisfy the even parity condition. Obviously, P4 will be also 0. P4 will be also 0. So we have found out the values of P1, P2, and P4. Okay. So you just replace them. So what is the value of P1? 1. So right here. Next, what is value of P2? 0. You write here. And what is value of P4? 0. So the given values are placed here. So replace P1 value in this column, not the above column. Separately, we have a column row of parity bits. In this, you should write 1, 0, 0. And combine all these 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 is the final answer. Okay. This final answer consists of data bits as well as parity bits also. Why? Because we are combining all these bits. Therefore, you will get 7 bits. Okay. See here. So this is the method what I have said explained you. So you write that in theoretical format and your answer will be 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Okay. So this is the first model. That means when only the information is given and they ask you to find Hamming code. And there is one more model. Hamming code will be given for you and they will ask you to find the error. Okay. See, this is the question related to that concept. See, assume that even parity Hamming code in the example is transmitted and it is received. Okay. That means directly Hamming code is given. The receiver does not know where the error is occurred. So determine the bit location where the error is occurring. So what is the question given is they transmitted the sequence, but they received this sequence. The transmitter sequence and receiver sequence both are different. Carefully observe, both are different. And they don't know where the error is occurred. So they are asking that by using the Hamming code method, please find out the where the error has been occurred. So this is the problem related to finding the position of error. Okay, previous model is the example for framing of Hamming code, and this is the model related to detection of error. Okay, the same method. Here the condition is already Hamming code is given. So directly go to the bit designation table, and here you write the received code. In the question we are having two codes. This is transmitted code and this one is received code. But you should take only this one into the question. Why? Because error will be occurred only at the receiver side. Error will be identified or error will be processed at your receiver side only. So take this as your question, not this one. Okay. Suppose in the exam, if you find two sequences, find out the sequence which is received one. Suppose if they give only one sequence, take that sequence as a received sequence. Okay, very, very important. Now I written here the received sequence and I followed the same process previously. Okay, and I compared with the parity given. See, even parity. So with that I made this and I verified that. So if you verify this, you will get these values. The same process what we have seen in the last problem. The only important step is after finding, you know how to find P1, you know how to find P2, you know how to find P4. In the previous problem I have said you. Then here the slight change will come. What is the sequence of parity bits? First P1 will be at your rightmost side, P2 will be in the middle, and P4 will be on your leftmost side. Then write down the answers. What is the answer of P1? 1. Answer of P2? 0. Answer of P4? 1. So what is the answer of 101? 5. So you can say that the fifth bit of the received code is error. Okay. By seeing like this, you should fix out the fifth position is error. That means this particular bit is error. What I am having here 0. I am saying that 0 is error. Then what should be the original one? 1. In the binary number system, we are having only two digits, 0 and 1. I am saying 0 is mistake. Then what is correct one? 1. So 0 is erased and replaced with 1. So the answer is 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. See, the same we got here. Okay, but 99% this message they want to give. Why? Because we can easily identify where the error is. By seeing the question itself, we can say this bit is error. But this message they want to give in the exam. Only they will give the received message. Then this is the method you need to follow and find out the position of error. Okay, it is very, very important. Okay, see, please make sure that you have a clear idea about these topics. Okay, this problem is related to the finding the position of error. Okay, and the previous method what we have said is regarding the framing of, okay, this is the method of framing of Hamming code. Two important models, very, very important. Please practice them. If you have any doubt, you can post in the comment section. Thank you and have a nice day.